This video is to give you some guidance and demonstration of the tools in BioLucida as you're doing this first exploratory lab 2. And then as you also, there will be, these are the four specimens in that collection. 3 mouse specimens, liver, several organs and kidney, and 1 human specimen from the skin of the palm. Here you will, when you in the future, like for Module 1 lab, there will be some specimens there for you to explore and practice applying what you learned in WebMic so that you'll be better ready for the module quizzes in the midterm and final exam Part B. But in the meantime, back to Histology Lab 2, where we already have 4 specimens to explore. So if you want to explore a specimen, just click on the specimen. And if the macro view doesn't show up, you can get it here. Be sure to click on and off like that. So immediately you can see I've made a couple annotations to show you a knife mark. But if you want to see the annotation, you click on the little icon here, and there's your annotation. So in that particular specimen, there are 2 annotations, that, and then I made one at higher magnification. But every time you click on annotation, you have to hit go to, and then it takes you there. So this is showing a vein in the liver, etc. And you can explore this now at all the magnifications. And in the Mac, you can use Command plus or minus to magnify. And in the PC, I'm using Control plus, and then minus to magnify. But you can also either use the drop-down menu and choose the marquee like this, and then you can draw around like that and immediately get the magnification. I'm using my mouse wheel at the PC now to go down to lower magnification. And now what I'm going to do is click on the image and then press my Z key. I assume that's going to work in the Mac and the PC, so if you draw a marquee like this, then it should magnify, and there it does. Well, that's the same function as choosing this and going like that, or using the Z key like this, like so. Okay, so when you're finished with one specimen, you can just close that specimen by clicking here. You can also, if you want, you can take a snapshot of this, and it'll save it as either or let's just see what it does. It's a TIFF file, so you can save that on your computer if you like. This just turns the annotations off, like here, and on. And of course, you select the annotation here, but there's also bookmarks. And so in this lab, we've got several. If you chose the bookmarks, like it would take you to the other specimen, various organs of a mouse, you see. Now I have both of those bookmarks, and the macro view is here, and the annotations are here. And actually, these are floating windows. You can move them out like that, and hopefully put them back in, although it's a little trick to get them all lined up. And luckily I did, but sometimes it's a little tricky. So in your bookmarks, that will take you to a different specimen, like here's the human integument. But you can do the same thing by just closing all these. You can either click each one of these like this, or we have 2 open, and you could click this to close. And then you can go back and you can choose your specimens by just clicking on the specimen and opening it. Now, I just want to emphasize that your megabyte download internet speed has got to be at least 5 megabytes per second. Otherwise, you're going to be very frustrated, not only in this, but also in the exam. So make sure that you can make arrangements to do that. You can always go to the library, the Technology Lounge on the 5th floor, very fast internet connection, computers there. There's also Gambrel Hall in the basement. Room 003 has both Macintoshes as well as PCs with BioLucida installed. So hopefully that will give you a little introduction. And what you need to do is just explore as much as you can yourself. There is one other tool I'll demonstrate in another video, so I'm going to do it here. This, like if you chose two specimens to open, you wanted to compare the two, then you should be able to open both of these specimens, and they should pop up here both at the same time. And then when I click on this grid, then I'm going to close this to kind of pause this to kind of get this to work. Actually, I was trying to do this in the setup that we made for y'all for lab, but it needs to be fixed. But what I was trying to show you is to opening up two specimens at the same time. And then when you have them both open, after they've opened, then if you click on the on this view, then you can get the two specimens together. You can even make them synced, so you can get them at about the same magnification, and then you can magnify both of them and they'll follow. But that's not something you really need to use right now. And then when later on the course, perhaps I'll get it to working a little better and show you how maybe you might be able to compare some organs side by side. That might be very helpful. So I'm going to pause this and go back to something else I wanted to show you before I close this short video out. So what I wanted to show you, and I'll repeat this when I do the demonstration of taking a BioLucida viewer quiz within Blackboard quiz within BioLucida, where you're accessing specimens, because you can, when the specimen is open, you can have one specimen at a time open and you will have Blackboard open. However, you can actually make two windows. You don't do it by the grid markup here. That's just to do comparison side by side. But if you want to have a Blackboard quiz floating window open as well as a second window with the specimen, then you go to Tools, you go to Viewer Options, and then you click on Always Show the Browser in a separate window. And so you see behind the scenes here is this browser, and I have to move it like this, and you'd have to arrange your windows like this. So you would have the specimen here and you have Blackboard. But I'm going to now revert from that, because if you leave it that way, every time you open BioLucida Viewer, it'll be like that. So I'm going to put it back as one window now. And then when I get to demonstrating how to take an exam in Blackboard within BioLucida Viewer, I'll show that again. So anyway, explore in this first lab, and I think that it will do very well.